Hey everyone, welcome to weeks 4 and 5 of Fabulously Flipping with UG1. We are currently on our way to go look at the property. It's been a few days since I've been there to see it, wanted to see the progress, but also wanted to show you the home improvement DIY projects that I've tried to accomplish myself. So not last week, but the week before, I set out to demo a concrete patio and also cut down a tree, and one was successful and one wasn't. So there's a deck in the backyard. The upper portion is salvageable, but the lower portion needed to be demoed, and when the construction crew demoed the lower part, it revealed some speckled concrete that was very broken, very uneven, and it was very apparent to me that I needed to take it out. So I watched a couple videos on YouTube and it looked pretty freaking easy. So I went to Home Depot, walked into the tool rental center, and I was like, hey, I need to rent one of those things. And the guy looked at me weird and he was like, you mean a jackhammer? And I was like, yes, I need a jackhammer. And he's like, okay, have you used one before? And I said, no, but I watched YouTube and it looks pretty easy. And he laughed and he said, okay, have fun. And then I also got a chainsaw, which was pretty fun as well. It was gas powered, which was super cool. So I threw those in the back of my car, went to the property. I first tried to jackhammer the back patio, and within 2 seconds, the first attempt, I got the tool stuck in the ground and I couldn't get it out. Once I finally got it out, I was like, okay, maybe I need to try a different technique. So I started on the edge by the house and I was able to get some loose. But after an hour, I only removed a very, very small portion of the concrete patio. I was sweating profusely. It was over 100 degrees and I gave up and I said, I need to hire someone for this. So that was the first DIY that failed. Secondly, I then went to the front of the house to cut down a small tree. That was super fun and super easy, and I loved the chainsaw, but I didn't know what to do with the tree once I cut it down, so it was kind of just chilling in the front yard, which you'll see. The third DIY project I attempted this weekend, on our long 3-day weekend, I wanted to do some of the landscaping myself. The house was owned by these elderly people that loved to garden, and they had a built-in pond, and the pond was disgusting and it smelled, and I was like, hey, I have 3 days off from work, let me attempt to try to fix it. And it was pretty fun. I made a lot of good progress on Saturday. I attempted to remove the pond. I cut holes in the plastic lining so it could drain. I removed over 100 stones and flagstones. It was pretty exhausting. There was also probably like 50 unused pots because I really loved plants. So I made a junk pile that I'm gonna have these junk people come and pick it up. But unfortunately, Sunday and Monday were pretty much washed out because of the monsoon that came through Houston Sunday and Monday. So I think I'm gonna have to hire landscapers for that project as well. So stay tuned and we will be at the property in a little bit. All right, everyone, we made it to the house. I want to make sure that we get in and see it before it's about to storm and before it gets too dark. Also, don't let me forget to talk to you guys about permits, because that's kind of important as well, especially when deciding on what contractors to go with. All right, let's go inside. All right, it is already starting to get dark, so let's start outside. If I can open my own gate. All right, take a look at this patio. Look at how much I sucked at this. So there's one hole. There's another one. And both of these took 30 minutes each. So as you can see, this is probably 100 square feet. No, less than that. But yeah, I decided, F this. I can't do it. I'm not cool. So let's look at some of the landscaping. So this is the awesome yard. You can see, one, there was a lot of vegetation against this house right here. that I ripped up, which is pretty awesome. Now it's gonna make it easy for the contractors to power wash the house when they're almost done, and then also replace the rotten wood on this deck before they repaint it, which will make it look fantastic. But I am going to have to come up with a solution for this, either hire someone to demo the rest of it or perhaps pour some more concrete on top of it. Who knows? This is my awesome pond, and it's exciting to see that it is actually dry even after all the rain we had. So we need to pull out that liner, fill that in with dirt, and re-sod that puppy. Over here is my junk garden. All of that rock you see was around the pond, and all of that was around the shed that's over here. Oh, my tools are still here. That's nice to know as well. Yeah, so this shed, you couldn't even barely see it. It was covered with shrubs. There was crap all around it. Took that bed out. It was all weeds. This was all weeds. And then this was all weeds. I didn't even know I had a tree here, which is kind of cool. It's a dangling tree. I don't know what it's called. If you know what it's called, let me know. And then if you make your way over here, this is the garden that needs to be tamed. And then I think we're gonna keep these and just trim them up because they probably look good when they're done. But once this is done, it's gonna look really cool back here, and I think buyers are really gonna enjoy spending time on that patio, cooking out, chilling now that it's getting to be better weather. All right, let's go inside and see if we can see anything. I tried to use my flashlight function with the video, but it just doesn't work. So this might be kind of pointless. So it looks pretty similar to how you saw it last time, and what's not really coming up, they've done the electrical rough-in and they've done the plumbing rough-in as well, which is pretty awesome because those are two big components that once that's done, the city has to come out and inspect. So let's go take a look and see if I can show you guys anything else that's different. Oh my god, this is like spooky. I hope I don't get murdered in my house. Yep, can't see jack shit here. Alright. Alright, bear with me. Master bath. Yep, can't see anything either. My awesome shower that you can't see. Everything is roughed in here, which is fantastic. Master closet. So cool news is that the plumbing has passed inspection. The electrical is being inspected this week so they can resume with the next step, which would be sheetrocking this puppy up so they can start the finish out. So you can see my awesome permits, the front of the house, which is awesome. All right, so let's talk about permits for a second. We have some nice scenery with my hot water heater on the back with a nice Gatorade bottle. Looks pretty awesome. So I had about 8 or 9 different contractors come out and bid on this project. Half of them wanted to pull permits, half of them didn't want to pull permits. It was my first time doing this. I was really leaning on their expertise whether to actually go through the hassle or not. The ones that didn't want to pull permits, they were like, man, the city's so inundated with Harvey flooded homes that they're not even going to check. They don't even care. It's a hassle. Some were like, yeah, we don't do any without pulling permits. I'm glad that the contractors I went with pull permits just because it's one less thing that I have to worry about if the city comes by and checks on the house. I also know that the work is being done properly, and then it's also a selling feature to buyers, so they know that the house that they're purchasing was inspected, it was passed, and it was permitted correctly. So those are just my 2 thoughts. So stay tuned for next week if there's any progress to report, or the week after, so I can show you guys some awesome sheetrock action, and hopefully this place is gonna start taking shape soon. All right, until then.